You come home after a long day, and before you have even taken your shoes off, your brain is already running. Dinner, the laundry you forgot in the machine, the message you still need to answer, his weird mood from this morning, the birthday you need to remember, the thing he said that hurt you, and whether it is worth bringing up or whether it will turn into another argument. And then someone asks you one simple question. What's wrong? And suddenly, you feel like crying. Not because of that one question, but because you have been carrying an invisible list in your head all day. And then you wonder, am I too sensitive? No, you are not too sensitive. You are exhausted from carrying emotional labor that nobody else can see. And in this video, I want to show you what that invisible work actually is, why it so often falls on women, why men often do not even realize it exists, and what you can do without becoming cold, bitter, or guilty. Because you are not too much. You may just be carrying too much. Sociologist Arlie Hochschild gave us the language for something called emotional labor. Originally, she used it to describe the work of managing emotions as part of a job. But over time, women started using that language for something that happens inside homes, relationships, and families too. Because there is a type of work that does not look like work. It is not only doing the dishes, it is noticing that the dishes need to be done before anyone else sees them. It is not only buying the birthday gift. It is remembering the birthday, choosing the gift, thinking about whether it feels personal enough, making sure it arrives on time, and reminding him to call his own mother. It is not only having the difficult conversation. It is sensing that something is off, choosing the right moment, softening your words, managing his reaction, and then comforting him because he feels bad that you are hurt. That is the part that drains you. Not because you are weak, but because your brain is constantly scanning the relationship. Is he okay? Are we okay? Did I say that wrong? Should I bring this up? Will he shut down? Should I let it go? Am I asking for too much again? That is not being dramatic. That is mental load. Researcher Alison Daminger talks about cognitive labor in relationships and households. The thinking, planning, anticipating, deciding, and monitoring that keeps life running. And here is the problem. When work happens inside your mind, people can benefit from it while still believing you did nothing. And here is the thing. This does not happen because women are naturally better at caring. It happens because many women were trained to notice. From a young age, girls are often praised for being thoughtful, helpful, emotionally aware, considerate. They learn to read the room. They learn to smooth tension. They learn to remember details. They learn to ask, "Are you okay?" before anyone asks them. And many men are trained very differently. They are often taught that love means providing, showing up, fixing the obvious problem. So when you say, "I feel like I am carrying everything," he may genuinely look around and think, "But I took out the trash." And maybe he did. But you are not only talking about the trash. You are talking about the fact that you had to notice it was full, ask him 3 times, manage your tone so you did not sound annoyed, and then thank him so he would not feel criticized. That is not partnership. That is management. And this is where so many women start to feel crazy. Because from the outside, nothing dramatic is happening. No one is screaming, no one is cheating, no one is leaving. But inside you, resentment is slowly building. Not because you hate him, but because you feel alone in a relationship that is supposed to feel shared. The most painful part is that people usually notice your reaction before they notice what caused it. They do not see the 10 times you swallowed your feelings. They see the 11th time, when your voice shakes. They do not see the 6 months of reminding, planning, forgiving, explaining. They see the moment you finally say, "I can't do this anymore." And then suddenly, you are too sensitive. You are overreacting. You are making a big deal out of nothing. But it was never nothing. It was the milk left on the table, and the conversation you had to start, and the plans you had to make, and the emotional temperature you had to monitor, and the way he could be in a bad mood, and somehow you became responsible for fixing the atmosphere. One small thing is rarely what breaks a woman. It is the pattern behind the small thing. That is why you can cry over a towel on the floor. Not because the towel is destroying your life, but because the towel represents the fact that you are the only one who seems to see what needs care. You are not too sensitive. You are responding to accumulated invisibility, and that is different. Let me make this very simple. There is this little relationship test people talk about online, the sandwich test. Ask yourself, do you know exactly what kind of sandwich he likes? Not just ham and cheese. I mean the bread, the sauce, the thing he hates, the way he likes it cut, the little detail that makes it his. Now ask yourself, does he know yours? And no, this is not really about sandwiches. It is about attention. It is about whether love flows both ways in the small details. Because most women in emotionally unequal relationships know hundreds of tiny things: how he takes his coffee, what stresses him out, when he needs space, what topics make him defensive, what his mother expects, what tone will make him listen, what tone will make him shut down. And then she realizes he does not even know what makes her feel safe. That is the heartbreak. Not that he forgot one detail, but that you have been studying him while he has been casually experiencing you. Love is not only big declarations. Sometimes love is remembering. Sometimes love is noticing. Sometimes love is not making the other person explain their needs from zero every single time. So what do? The first step is not to explain harder. Most women are already over-explaining. The first step is to stop translating invisible work into a format he can ignore. Name it clearly, not as an attack, as information. You can say, I am not upset about one task. I am exhausted because I am the one constantly noticing, planning, reminding, and managing the emotional tone between us. That sentence matters because it moves the conversation from, why are you mad about the dishes, to, why are you the only one responsible for noticing what needs care? Second, stop assigning tasks and start assigning ownership. There is a difference between saying, can you help me with dinner? And saying, I need you to fully own dinner on Tuesdays. That means deciding what we eat, checking what we have, buying what is missing, cooking it, and cleaning up after. Helping still makes you the manager. Ownership makes him a partner. Third, stop protecting him from every consequence. And of course, I do not mean in situations where safety, children, pets, or serious responsibilities are involved. But in everyday things, let the consequence exist. If he forgets his own family birthday, you do not have to rescue it. If he does not plan the thing he said he would plan, you do not have to quietly take it over at midnight. If he asks, why didn't you remind me? You can say, because remembering it was part of the responsibility. That may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you are used to being the emotional safety net. But the truth is, some men only realize how much you carry when you stop carrying it silently. And fourth, pay attention to his response. A good partner may feel uncomfortable. He may feel embarrassed. He may need time to understand, but he will care. He will try. He will not punish you for asking for reciprocity, because the goal is not perfection. The goal is shared awareness. But if every attempt to name your exhaustion turns into defensiveness, mockery, silence, or blame, then the issue is no longer that he does not see it. The issue is that he benefits from not seeing it. And that is information you are allowed to take seriously. So no, you are not too sensitive. You are sensitive enough to notice what is being ignored. You are sensitive enough to feel the imbalance before it becomes obvious. You are sensitive enough to know when something is slowly draining you even if you cannot always explain it perfectly. And that is not a flaw. That is intelligence. That is awareness. That is your nervous system telling the truth before your mouth has found the words. Emotional labor will not disappear because of one conversation, but something powerful happens when you stop calling your exhaustion drama. Something changes when you stop apologizing for needing care too, because you are not asking for too much. You are asking not to be the only person holding the relationship together from the inside, and that matters. If this video made you feel seen, please tap the like button. It genuinely helps this message reach more women who need to hear it. And if you are new here, subscribe and turn on the bell because we release new videos every Monday and Thursday. And if you want to understand the other side of this pattern, watch my previous video next. It is about why men pull away the moment things get real, and the psychology behind it may surprise you. I will link it here. Thank you for watching, my lovelies, and I will see you in the next video.